baseboards already? Blimey, there's no time to let the grass grow, is there? So stay tuned and then all will be revealed. Right, just before we get going, I just want to say a big thank you to Jason at Barnabas Jcn. He was running a giveaway every week, or most weeks, for reaching 50 viewers on his live stream, and I was fortunate enough to win this. So what we've got here is desert plants from Scenorama and Woodland Scenics there. So I'll just give you a quick look inside. I'm not going to do anything with it now, but just to show you. So there's a pack there of some green, it looks like microfiber type stuff, which would be always brilliant for making plants and shrubbery with. And there's some red flowers and yellow flowers there, and that looks like some kind of basing glue there. And there are some cactuses and these, well, tall cactus type trees. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use those at the moment, but we'll find a way, I am sure. So anyway, thank you so much, Jason. I really do appreciate that. Okay. Right, second little interlude is for Kev at Medway Peninsula Model Railway. Kev, you were talking about cable tidying, and I was trying to describe to you these plastic things here, which are self-adhesive. You pull off a backing, and there are slots that you can then thread a regular cable tie through. You can cut them so that they're loose, or you can have them rigid tight if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Okay, I hope that's helpful, Kev. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Piccadilly. Now, as I said in the previous video, the station is finished and we are moving on in this video. So let's turn around, and you might be thinking, what is going on over here? Well, this is the basic template for what the upper level is going to look like. So all I've done is I've just taken some A3 pieces of paper and literally just glued them together with a glue stick and laid them out onto the board. Now, what I'm trying to do is to honour as the feel that comes out of Piccadilly, because it's quite industrial as it comes out, and then obviously as it goes around the corner it's going to become slightly less so. So there will be buildings around this area, or at least an indication of buildings all along here, and there probably, I've got to think about it, probably will be a wall and then grassy banks, and there'll be lots of trees here. Now, what I am thinking is that as the bridge comes across here, it'll join up to this, and there probably will be an arch running along the edge there, probably. Still thinking about it, because I've also got to think about how I'm going to sort of carry that along there, because obviously I don't want that just to stop there and then we go into timber work. So there is a little bit of thinking to be done here. So it might not end up being an arch, I don't know. There are grassy banks here, and the idea then that track would go round the back and join up with that. Potential station in the far corner there, and obviously, as I've said previously, that will then go up and join up with New Mills, and there will be another track coming along like that. Now, the thinking has gone quite round and round and up and down, all sorts. So what I say today might not actually happen, but this is my thought at the moment. So we've got a double track, and this left-hand or this right-hand track will be the one that comes around this way, like that, and then we'll join back up. Obviously, there'll be a point here somewhere because that's going to straight into there, and then join back up with the left-hand track, and there will obviously need to be a couple of crossovers so that trains can get from one to the other. But I'm thinking about how that's going to be, and I don't know exactly at this moment in time, but it gives you a basic idea of where we're going with all of this. So my first job then is to take this timber or this board here, place that on top of it, use that as a template to cut things out, and then we can start making some stilts, if you like, some wooden blocks for all this to start sitting on. Well, that's certainly looking a bit different now, isn't it? Get used to it, I'm afraid. This is the way it's going. So obviously you can see I've cut the top boards now. I'm not saying this is the final shape. I might crop things back a bit. and you might be able to see that piece there. There is a sort of kind of diagonal line on that, and obviously I've got to put the kick out coming off the bit that's going to come over here. So I'm just going to put the template back on, which is over there in a minute. Yeah, I think what I am going to do is go back to the piece that I cut out from here and then glue another piece back in there, and just make that a little bit wider, even just another 30 mil. I think taking it to this line here and then kick out there, and then that piece will sort of kick out from there and join up. It is going to be an angle, so I want the station to sort of come off at a bit of an angle there, and I might even consider doing a bit of forced perspective as the station goes on, making it get smaller and smaller slightly into the distance. We'll see. It wouldn't be much, maybe 5 to 10%. Right, welcome back. So you can see now I've got this piece coming in along there, and that's been shaped. Now, what I need to do now is to start cutting back some of the scenery, the back scenery, into New Mills, so I can at least get a flat board, and then I shall obviously just cut that so it sort of curves in a bit and then marries up with the top surface. Now, you might also notice something else. If I bring you down, it's sagging a bit, and the reason for that is because I've removed all of the vertical supports that hold it up. You're thinking, what on earth have you done that for? Well, the reason being is because it was too high. Now, these girders or gantries are 65 millimeters tall. So the idea would be that I make the upper level at a similar height to the gantries as they are now. The gantry that's going to become the bridge will be a tad higher, but I don't want it to look out of scale with that. So that's the reason for trying to marry up the upper level with the Piccadilly Station. So I've cut down the supports that's holding this up, and I'll be propping those back in shortly, cutting this bit down, and then hopefully I'll be able to give an idea of where that's going to sit. So I'll get back to you soon. So what about New Mills Central? I'm not going to be totally annihilating the station and doing it again. No. I'm actually quite happy with a lot of it. All of this middle section here, the building, all of that platform, this footbridge, which is literally just fallen over, it's not broken, that road bridge and the signal box, they're all staying. It's not going to be changed. And the only thing I do need to rethink is these trees at the back here. It is literally smothered with trees. But the problem being is every time I climbed up in here, one of the wires on the trees caught me, and then I ended up accidentally ripping it out. So that's why all the trees have gradually disappeared. So I will be putting those back, but I'm going to have a think how to put them back. I might need to put some kind of guard at the back here just to protect them a little bit. But all that's going to happen is I'm going to cut the platform probably around about there where I've cut this back part, and then obviously this side as well, and then the platforms will continue straight, and even then probably only to about here, probably about 4 inches or so. So I can get a slightly longer train in there, and they don't look quite so silly even when the DMUs stop there. So it should be hopefully better, but you know, I'm going to try if I can to make it look more like New Mills. It was quite closed in before, particularly with this bridge here, because there isn't one obviously. But we'll see what we can do. I am going to try, if it's still there of course, put that siding in. Perhaps somebody can tell me if that siding is still there, because that's where the trains used to terminate onto this platform 2, and then they would travel back along this line into the siding, and then back out onto platform 2, and then come back, cross over the lines, and then head back towards Manchester. Well, if you didn't think the changes were going to be major at New Mills, think again. I did say I'm going to have to chop the platform back, and also this part here is the wrong shape. I want it more that shape. So this part is completely unnecessary. So what I'm going to do is remove it from there and there. So it's pretty much a straight line from each of the sides. Okay, all this piece will go. I'll retrieve what I can, and so it'll be ready to fit the new track bed, which is obviously, this is the preparation for it, and that will fit into there like that and come off at this angle. So we're getting there bit by bit by bit by bit. Okay, I'll join you shortly. Right, welcome back. It does look like a scene of devastation, but I promise I've just done this so I can show you what I'm on about. I am trying hard to work out ways of making this whole section removable, so using these clips is going to be an advantage in some ways, but obviously I don't really want them on the scenic side. So when these boards are turned over, that will clip into that slot, and then you can see that that will then do up from behind. So hopefully I should be able to get to that, even if I have to stand on a stool or something. I should be able to reach that and get it undone if I need to. All right, I'll carry on doing that, and I'll show you all in a bit. I'll just give you a quick pan round to show you where we are. So that bit there, you can see now I've done that. I was thinking of putting one of these clips across there, but to be honest with you, the platform I've just noticed is quite wibbly wobbly there, isn't it? So I might have to cut it back to even there and rebuild all of that, but we'll just take it one step at a time and see. All right, catch you soon. All right, there you go. That's the main board, which has now been glued and screwed. So there's 3 parts to it. So you've got a part down there, another bit there, and another bit there. And you'll probably make out that I've put a long strip across the bottom and then one over the joint over there as well. Not to mention another little block, which you might be able to make out. Just this is a bit difficult to see, but it's there, I promise that. Okay, so that is the board that's going to go in this section here. So let's get it in. Right, I just thought I'd catch you up where we are now, and you can see now I've pretty much got all of the, I call them boards, but they're almost in, and you can see now that middle section has been removed. I just had to saw it away. I'll take you a bit closer and show you what I'm going to do with that. So I've got this piece here, which is basically going to sit kind of like that, but obviously it's going to be shaped. So you'll notice there is a lip there, and there will be another one onto that big block there. I've got to measure it and cut it, and you can see the lines where I've got to cut this to fit. So welcome back. Now I'll give you a view of what's happened so far, and it is not complete by any means. So you can see now that I've got that cross piece in, which was from the last clip, and that's New Mills Central. I'll take you over in a second and you can have a look at the devastation that's over there. And obviously there's going to be a station in there. So a train can come back from New Mills, come all the way around here, across this bridge. I'm thinking about making that a bit wider, to be honest. Go across there, and then we'll join up back just there. Okay, so that's the first station and that's where I've just been. I was standing over here. So follow it round, follow it round, follow it round. That's the piece going back to there. And this is the entrance into, or the new entrance into New Mills Central. Now you can see it's quite a devastation there. Now, as I said before in previous clips, The station is not going to be completely dismantled. The middle section of it, most of this, all the way up to the footbridges and the signal box, which hopefully you should be able to see there, is staying. The building I'm happy with. I protected it quite well with varnish, and I can't see the point in ripping something out, which actually is okay. So I'm really quite pleased with that. So that's staying. But if I put that camera just there, you can see this platform here it's got quite a kick out on it, because obviously when it started to curve round and you can see the paint on the board, it needed that extra space. But this platform has got to be straight. So this track will be moved over a bit, and then this platform will probably have to be cut around that point there. So I won't do that now, obviously, but it will need to be cut back all the more. But again, there's a waiting room just there. Hopefully that will come up. Well, it is glued, but hopefully I might be able to get it up without damaging it. Worst comes to worst, I have to make another one, but we'll see how it goes. So do be aware the platform will probably have to be cut probably around that point, depending on how close it is to that curve. Okay, but you can certainly get an idea of where we're going with this now. Now, the other part I want to show you is how I've put it together. Right, in the same way as the main extension was all clipped together, wedged and lodged, this is as well. So this piece is part of the permanent layout, which is firmly attached to the floor, but yet this piece is connected to this piece, and that's clipped. That piece is clipped. This piece, if I take you down, is clipped, as is the other end is clipped. The whole layout, or the whole upper section, is clipped, and yet that is quite firm. In the same way here, there's a clip underneath there. And then we get further over to this point. I think I've mentioned it before. There is a clip holding these two blocks together, but on the opposite side. And then you'll notice here, these blocks here are wedged against brackets. I'll show you the other side, like that. So there's a bracket there, and there's a bracket there, making an L shape. So this block is wedged in, because when you pull it tight, it's pulled that way. So all the blocks are pulled into the wedges. And there's two more there, and there's one around the back there, so running along the back. So again, the blocks are literally wedged together. That ain't going anywhere. So it's firmly fixed, but if I do need to get it up, I can. So this is all one board, and I will treat it as one board. Hopefully it won't get too heavy, but we'll see. Scenery, I will build it so that it's either attached firmly to each board, and there would have to be a gap down the middle, unfortunately. But I can disguise that with some foliage at different places. And then so this board will lift off, probably leaving a back scene running along there. But again, we'll look at these a bit closer when we get that far. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed seeing how this first section is going to be put together, and you can certainly get an idea of what's going through my head now, can't you? All right, I'll say bye to you now, and I'll see you again next time here on Piccadilly. Bye for now.